Okay, today we're here, we're interviewing Sean Kraft about his new movie. It's super exciting.
Whoa, it pops up. Hey, didn't see you there. Alright, I can guess that you're here because you're interested in my movie idea, and I have been thrilled and looking forward to this day for eons. And what's going to happen is I am going to make this movie called Flying Sharks. Flying Sharks! What I'll have to do is I'll have to explain that sharks are flying. Like, flying. It's crazy. Okay, scene one, like, you don't even know what movie it is. You paid $7.50, you don't even know what theater or what movie it is, and it just says, go see this. And you go in there, and there's these three guys on a boat, and they're being retards. It's like, chumma blah, 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 chumma what. And then they see a fin coming, I'm like, oh snap, that's a shark right there, and the fin's coming up, start coming up, and you start to see the shark's mouth, like, oh there is, and then all of a sudden, he's fully out of the water, and he's skimming the surface of the water, and they're like, oh my god. Sorry, Lanta. In the movie they're going to say, oh my Lanta, and then the shark's going to come in and just destroy the whole boat, and then it's going to settle, and there's going to be blood everywhere, and then it's going to say, Flying Sharks. Scene number 2 is going to introduce all the main characters. It's going to have Kurt Russell, a small bit part by, what's his face? Matthew McConaughey. David Duchovny's going to be a bit part, because he's not, he's not expensive at all, he hasn't been in anything good. Blake Lively from Gossip Girl, and Sigourney Weaver as the main chick doctor. Because, she's Sigourney Weaver, and she, like, killed that mother alien in Aliens and stuff. Scene 3! Dun dun 3! So, scene 3 is going to be that there's, like, this oil rig, and it's going to be the exact same oil rig from Armageddon, with Liv Tyler and Bruce Willis and not Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and then it's gonna be Heaven Every Day, blah blah blah, every day oil rig, so drilling stuff, and then sharks just they swoop by the camera towards the oil rig. As oil is spurting out, it's gonna be splashing on the sharks' faces as they're eating people, and then the oil mixes with the blood and the chum, and then it's falling everywhere, and then all of a sudden explosions, because Michael Bay's directing it, in case you didn't know. And then there's going to be explosions everywhere, and there's going to be oil and people flying everywhere in bits and pieces, and some sharks die, but the rest of them are like on fire, and then when they're flying through the air, these sharks are on fire. And they just start like, holy crap, and then there's a guy with a handgun, he starts shooting at them, they just, wow, swoop in, and there's just blood everywhere, and then they start like destroying, crashing through the oil rig, because the parts of it are like thin and they're not as thick as the main supports, and then they start chewing through the bottom of it and at the base, and it just crumbles and falls to bits, and then it explodes, and there's flaming sharks flying everywhere. End of scene. Flying sharks! New York City, modern day. People buying hot dogs. People saying, forget about it. And all of a sudden, shadows sweep over the landscape and the skyline. And then people look up, just as in Independence Day. And then there is a giant cloud of sharks in rank and file. Smaller sharks up front, larger sharks in back. Whale shark on the bottom because they're whale sharks, And then they just keep swarming, and they blot out the sun, and then they keep flying, and then they're like, holy crap, and then they just start going, some drop off like airplanes, how they go, these go, and then they start going lower and lower, and then they just crash through all the buildings, and there's blood everywhere. The sharks swoop in, and they're like, come in, and they like scrape up on the ground like street sharks. They're just going, tear off from the concrete, and then people are like, ah, and there's like, oh my god, mass panic, glass tearing through buildings, glass is falling down, they're just destroying all of Manhattan. People are shooting guns, military gets called in eventually, and they like crash through skyscrapers, the skyscrapers falling, glass, blood, chum flying everywhere. And then there's like another one to where the military starts to be able to shoot airstrikes, and then there's just sharks crashing into F-150s, eject, fly, and the sharks are like, something like this, and then like there's all this firepower and being explosions in the sky, and then there's just chum and metal falling out of the sky, and then there's like a car chase, like, and there's like a motorcycle, and a Mako shark is just chasing them down the streets. They're both crashing. It's crazy. It's like I don't know, it's like some Japanese crazy action show. There's like a bunch of stingrays that slash up this woman like 80 billion times. And then like slash up this woman, and it doesn't matter if she gets poisoned because she just got slashed in pieces from all these stingray barbs. And it's raining blood, like the Slayer song. Ugh.
Sean, what is your inspiration for this film?
Sharks.
Would you tell us more about that? Why you love sharks?
Since I was a little wee Sean Kraft in 3rd grade, I love sharks. I have like a bunch of shark t-shirts, which I no longer have, but because I outgrew them. But in 3rd grade, I learned so much about sharks, about how many things have been found within sharks, like suits of armor, barrels, license plates, fireworks, and then I found out all about the main things everybody knows about sharks. Their placoid scales, their extremely sensitive senses, such as mechanoreception, electroreception, the ampullae of Lorenzini, all up and down their faces and stuff, and how awesome and great predators of the sea that they be.
Sean, if this movie could have an impact, what would you hope it would be?
Deep impact.
Please tell us more.
Well, Samuel Jackson, you know how he was all like in Deep Blue Sea, how he got eaten by a shark, and then people talked about him getting eaten by a shark, and then in that Juggernaut video, he punched a shark. He was like, "That's sweet, Samuel Jackson." Well, Samuel Jackson's gonna be in this movie somehow. He's not actually that expensive. He's just so cheap. That's why he's in every movie. And he gets like his legs chomped, and he's like, "Not again," and then he gets eaten. I want people to go and see this movie because it's going to be so over the top and fun. It's not, but I am serious about it. But it's going to be fun. Remember how you felt about Piranha 3D? This is the HD version of that. It's going to be hardcore.
Sean, will this movie have any series following it?
I think I'm gonna have a sequel, but it's gonna be more ridiculous to where, like, let's say I am the first one normally with with military might and guns and bombs and stuff, but like the second one would be more over the top, and I'm gonna end it where like whatever made the sharks fly, we do that to dolphins, and then we make a giant armada of dolphins to fight against and rise up against the sharks. But also there'll be a few more ridiculous scenes to add on to it, like, you know how like certain whale boats have like a harpoon gun? Well, what they'll do is like a great white will be coming at them, and then like the Japanese people will like shoot it, and then it'll stick in the shark, but then a bunch of other sharks will latch on to that shark, and then they start pulling the boat up out of the water, and then they'll chew through the cable because there's sharks, and then the boat will land upside down and everyone will die, and things like that. And maybe there might be a guy with superpowers who could be like fighting them all Dragon Ball Z style in the air.
Sean, how has the making of this movie impacted you personally?
It's all I think, eat, sleep, and breathe. Sharks.
So Sean, is there any truth to the rumors that Justin Bieber will be starring in this film?
Yes. Because we have to appeal to the young teen audience to come out and see this. We have to appeal to every demographic.
Sean, do you have any final thoughts before we end this interview, or anything you want to say to the viewers that might want to come watch your movie?
Look for flying sharks in theaters for the next few years. Shazam!